One of the most amazing themes in all of the Bible is the way that God turns what we see as true and as or take as a given in this world, and he turns it on its head. That God takes our expectations of something as something we see as small, and he makes that big, as something we see as insignificant, and he makes that the most significant. We have that theme that runs throughout our scriptures today. Today, in our first reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah, God is giving some encouragement to his people, Israel. He says, "Fear not, O worm, O maggot Israel, I will make you into a threshing sledge," and then that he'll give them this threshing sledge that they will crush mountains, that make hills like chaff, that he is going to also turn deserts into marshland and dry ground into springs of water. That these things that seem so forsaken, so lost, now God wants to bring them to total life, bring them to almost the total opposite of what they are. An amazing thing, and God does these things. And in our gospel, Jesus speaks about John the Baptist. He's speaking about how no one born of woman on this earth is greater than John the Baptist. And that's kind of weird to say because John the Baptist was an itinerant preacher. He didn't have a home. He went around, he looked terrible, he had a long beard and ate locusts and honey. He wasn't a very attractive person. Yet, Jesus tells us he's the greatest of born of women. The greatest because he has truly believed in the message of the gospel. And also we celebrate today the Saint Juan Diego. And he was a very humble Native American person who witnessed who the Virgin Mary actually appeared to. Our Virgin of Guadalupe appears to Juan Diego. And in his humility, he wasn't perfect in it, but he followed her direction. He followed what the Virgin told him to do. And so this very lowly man, he was a very short man too, now we see as this great saint, we would acclaim as a saint because of his obedience to the Virgin, to the will of God through the Virgin of Guadalupe. God turns those things that we see as great, and he turns them on its side and says these are insignificant. And he turns those things that we see as insignificant or small, and he turns them on its head and says these are great things. So my friends, don't be afraid to be small. Don't be afraid of those things that you see as insignificant in your life. Perhaps you have an insignificant amount of faith. Well, God will change that into great faith if we trust in him. If you have not much in terms of your own gifts, God takes what little we can give and he will double it, he will triple it, he will make it so much more than that. So don't be afraid to be humble, to be small, because God can turn that right on its head and make all of us great saints.